This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. So, any doubts from previous session? Is everything fine? Are you able to understand? So, can anybody confirm, please? Are you able to see my screen and able to hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. So, yesterday we were discussing about custom virtual private cloud. So, we already discussed yesterday about default virtual private cloud, and we saw the differences between default virtual private cloud and custom virtual private cloud. Today we will try to understand a few definitions of some resources like what is NAT gateway, what is NACL. So after that, we will understand. We will see how we can create our own custom private cloud. So I told you that in real time we will always create a custom virtual private cloud, and I also said that when you join in a company, you will not be going to create a virtual private cloud because already that virtual private cloud might have been already created. You have to use it, that's all. So you have to remember, when you create, whenever you want to go to whenever you plan going to create an instance, at that time you should not select our default virtual private cloud. You should not select it. You should select the custom private cloud. And at the same time, in your company, if you found more than two virtual private clouds, let's assume we have two three virtual private clouds available, then everything they will provide you which VPC you have to use, which VPC you have to use, in which VPC you have to deploy the applications, and in which VPC you have to create the services. So that information will be given to you, or you will come to know when your colleagues using a VPC. By that you will understand, okay, this is a VPC we have to work on. So that in that idea you will get it. So anyway, today we will continue understanding the remaining definitions. Yesterday we understood what is internet gateway, and now today we will try to understand what is network translation. So in short, we say NAT gateway. So what is it? You can use a network address translation gateway to enable instances in a private subnet to connect to the internet or other AWS services, but prevent the internet from initiating a connection with those instances. That means it is one way traffic. So NAT gateway will allow the private instances which are in the private subnet. It will allow to update the software or some other purpose. They can able to connect to the internet, but internet cannot establish a connection to our private instances. So using NAT gateway, you can perform like that. But network internet gateway, it's not like that. It's a two-way communication. So you can communicate, and from the internet, customers can also communicate with your instances, right? But NAT gateway is not like that. So you are charged for creating and using NAT gateway in your account. Okay. Now whatever we are practicing today, everything is chargeable. Most of the services resources which we are going to create today are chargeable. So practice it wisely, and after practicing, you have to delete all of them without forgetting. NAT gateway hourly usage and data processing rates apply. So when you use NAT gateway, why we are using NAT gateway? To connect to the internet. And why we are connected to the internet? To update the software. Whatever software in the private subnet, those instances want to update their software. So at that time, whatever data, incoming data will be also charged. Okay, data processing rates will apply. Amazon EC2 charges for data transfer also apply. To create a NAT gateway, you must specify the public subnet in which the NAT gateway should reside. So as I told you, it's also an interview question. They will ask you, whenever you want to create an NAT gateway in a VPC, where you create, then you should say we always create in a public subnet. Now, NAT gateway cannot be created in a should not be created in a private subnet. You must also specify an elastic IP address to associate with NAT gateway when you create it. So whenever you create an NAT gateway, a elastic IP also should be assigned to the NAT gateway. So how to assign, we'll see those things. Right. Next, no need to assign public IP address to a private instance. Of course, private instance will not have a public IP. So without a public IP, you can able to connect to the internet. After you have created a NAT gateway, you must update the route table associated with one or more of your private subnets to point internet bound traffic to the NAT gateway. So what is this statement mean? It's saying that once the NAT gateway is created, that entry should be added into the table, route table, like this: o.o.o slash 0 NAT gateway ID. So NAT, whatever you created, that ID should be added into the route table. The route table which is connected to the subnet, the private subnet. So that entry you have to add. Deleting a NAT gateway disassociates its elastic IP address but does not release it from your account. So remember, careful, we should be very careful. Whenever you create a NAT gateway, a elastic IP is must. Once you assign the elastic IP, and after that, later on assume you deleted the NAT gateway. Once you delete NAT gateway, your elastic IP will be released. Will not be released immediately, but it will be disassociated. It will be disassociated with the network gateway, so network address translation gateway. But elastic IP will still remain there. It has only disassociated with the NAT gateway. That's all. But the elastic IP still exists, and you have to release it. If you forgot it, then some charges will be attracted every day. Hourly basis charges will be attracted. And then you get security groups. You already know security groups. Some more key things you will learn about security groups. Up to 5 security groups per EC2 instance interface can be applied. Okay, up to 5 security groups per EC2 instance interface can be applied. Can only have permit rules, cannot have deny rules. So security group, as we discussed, it will only allow, it doesn't have option to deny. It is called stateful. Why it is called stateful? As you know, when you create an inbound rule, outbound rule is automatically allowed. So we never set an outbound rule, right? Remember? So outbound rule is already set. It is set so that if you are coming inside your home, they can go at any time. Similarly, whenever you create an inbound rule, automatically outbound rule will be set over there in the security group, and you no need to specifically set any outbound rules over there. That is the reason it is called stateful. It is called stateful. So return traffic, that is outgoing traffic from the from your instance, outgoing traffic, we call it as return traffic of allowed inbound traffic is allowed. Even there are no rules to allow it. That means no need to specifically mention as outbound rule. Automatically it will be set. But whereas we have NACL, in the NACL network access control list, in that it is a stateless. Security groups are stateful, but NACLs are stateless. Why they are stateless? There in that you also have to set outbound rules as well. Both inbound and outbound rules, both you have to mention in NACLs. But security group, it's not like that. So it is an interview question. They will ask you, is security group is a stateful or stateless? Then you should say it is a stateful. Why? The reason also you have to mention that we can set inbound rules and no need to specify the outbound rules. NACL, network access control list. It is a function performed on the implied router. It is a function performed on the implied router, right? So on the router, this NACL will be applied. So NACL is an optional layer. It's an optional. It is not mandatory. Okay, it's an optional layer of security for your VPC that acts as a firewall for controlling traffic in and out of one or more subnets. So security group, it is applied to the instances. Security group is applied on the instances, whereas NACL are applied on the subnet, on the whole subnet itself. On the whole subnet itself, you can apply the network. You can apply the NACL. So what happens if the subnet contains, suppose, some 50 servers? For all those 50 servers, the NACL rules are applied. And whereas each server will have a security group. Each server will have, all those 50 servers will have security group. On top of it, you can have, if you want, you can have a NACL, network access control list also. You can add on top of the subnet, but it is optional. If you want a NACL, you can make it as optional. You can create custom network ACL and associate it with subnet. By default, each custom network ACL denies all inbound and outbound traffic until you add rules. So I told you that when you create a custom VPC, with a custom VPC, you will get what? A free, from free resources we get. One of them is, when you create a custom VPC, you will get security group freely, default and NACL also will become, and A1 route table also will get. This NACL, what we getting when you create a VPC first time, this NACL will allow all inbound and outbound rules. But on top of it, you want to add one more NACL, then in that you have to mention everything, inbound and outbound, everything you have to mention from scratch. That is what it is saying. Okay, that's what it is saying. So you can create a custom NACL and associate it with a subnet. By default, each custom NACL denies all inbound and outbound rules until you add rules. Each subnet in your VPC must be associated with a network ACL. If you don't explicitly associate a subnet with an ACL, the subnet is automatically associated with the default network ACL. So what it is saying that every subnet, if you don't mention any NACL on the subnet level, then automatically that subnet will be associated with the a NACL which will come with the default VPC. So default VPC having a default table, route table, also it will have a default NACL. So even though you are using custom VPC, your subnet, if you don't specify any NACL on that subnet in the custom VPC, that subnet will automatically associated with the another NACL which belongs to default VPC. And some more about NACLs. You can associate a NACL with multiple subnets. So one single NACL can be associated with multiple subnets. However, a subnet can be associated with only one NACL at a time. Same like a route table concept. Same like route table concept. Here you see multiple subnets can be associated with one route table, or multiple subnets can be associated with one NACL. But once they are associated to one NACL, they cannot associate with another NACL. That you should understand. A network A NACL contains a numbered list of rules that we evaluate in order, starting with the lowest numbered rule. So every NACL will have a rule number, actually start from 1 2 3 like that. So the highest value number you can give is 32,766 is the highest rule number you can give. Recommended, that means these many rules you can have. These many rules you can have. Recommended that you start by creating rules with rule numbers that are multiples of 100, so that you can insert new rules later. So you can start with 100, rule number 1 as 100, and then 200 for the next rule. And next, in later on, if you want a new, if you want to insert a new rule, so rules are executed order wise as by the rule number. So suppose after 100 and 200 you want to add one more rule, but it should come in between 100 and 200, then you can mention it as 101. Otherwise, what happens if you don't make like that? If you creating rules as 100, 101, 102 like that, then suddenly you want another rule which you want to give more priority. Then after 100 it should run rule. One moment, please. Sorry. So now if you want to insert a new rule, you want to prioritize it after rule number 100, then no, already 101 is there already, so you have to edit. If you edit again, other rules also you need to be edited, right? So that is the reason it's all better to give rules initially. You can prepare with rule 100 and 200, 300 like that, and later on whenever you notice that some more rules are coming and you have to prioritize them, then you can insert them accordingly. NACL are stateless. Outbound traffic for an allowed inbound traffic must be explicitly allowed to. Okay, outbound and inbound both have to be, you have to mention. You can have permit and deny rules in NACL. In security group, we will have only permit rules, but in NACL we will have both permit and deny rules you can have. So how it looks like? So if you see this picture, so this is your subnet, one subnet is another subnet two, and here we have instances, here we have instances, and this instance, two instances sharing the same security group, and these two instances having their own security groups. Okay, and on top of it, each on each top subnet we have one NACL, and here also we have one more NACL. Okay, so whatever traffic coming from the internet gateway, those are have to be filtered first here on the NACL level. Once they are filtered, only then the traffic will be allowed to your into your subnet, and into a subnet whenever a instance is targeted by the internet, then that instance again again the security group will applied. In that the security group also checks whether it allowed or not, only then it will be allowed. So multiple layers, like that multiple security layers will have, like that. That means very common rules you can put in the network rule. And known, suppose you have 50 60 servers, and instead of adding assume we have a rule, common rule, which you are giving to all those 50 60 rules, so servers, then instead of having mentioning those in security groups, you can add one in network axle, network ACL, like that. Okay, now before going further, what we do today, we'll create a custom VPC now. We'll create a VPC now, custom VPC. So for that, first of all, I want a VPC now. Okay, I want a VPC. So let's create a VPC. How do we create a VPC? We'll see step by step. We will see now. Here, here you can type VPC. You'll get a VPC here, or you can go to your services and you can check here. We have network and content delivery. You click on this. Here we have VPC. So this way also we can connect. Okay, or mostly we use search, in search and click on VPC here. Now, as we discussed, we already saw we already have default VPC. Okay, now what I will do, I will create one more VPC. We have option here, create VPC. Okay, create VPC, and we have VPC only and VPC and more, two options we have. Let's select VPC only. Select VPC only, and what is the VPC name you want to add here? I want to give, suppose, uh, for example, some company, Infosys is a company, they are want they own VPC. Then I will say Infosys something, they have application, some application they have. Okay, some project. Okay, project, project 1, some project 10 something name, not in real time will give some name here, but project 10 I will say, and I'll say VPC. Okay, project 10 VPC, for example. And then what is a cider block in this VPC? How many instances you want, how many IP address you want? So if you check this diagram, here we see the VPC having cider value is slash 16. That means 2 to the power of 16, and 32 minus 16 means 2 to the power of 16. That means 65,000 plus IP address you can create. But I don't want those many. I want very few. For this demo, I don't want those many. So very few. How can we decide? For example, if you go to IP address guide, is website should be there. Yeah, IP address guide. If you go here, here you can give some range. For example, here what is the range? It's saying 10.0.0.0/24. If you give those many, how many IP address can be created? 10.0.0/24, for example. It's ping. It's not a ping. IPv4 tools. Click on IPv4 tools, and here in this we have IPv4 cider. Okay, select the cider one. Here is a 24. Calculate. When you calculate, it is saying that you can create up to 256 IP address. You can create in a VPC. You can create up to 256 IP address. You can create. So here in this diagram, as per the diagram, I'm talking about this VPC. I'm not talking about the CIDR values of inside the subnets. We will do that as well. But as of now, I'm creating the CIDR for VPC. So in this VPC, I want around not only two. I don't want 256. I want some 4,000 plus instances. I want to create as per the project. As per the project, they will tell you how many they want. As per that requirement, we will create. So here, what I will do, I will change this. I will make it as 20. Now you see, calculate again. Now this time it is saying 4096 IP address you can create inside the VPC. So as you know, 5 are already reserved. That means only 4091 you can use. Okay. If the if the developer say that they require some 2000 servers, 2500 servers, you can go with this standard value. You can even increase to 2 to the power of 21. Now you will see how many you get. You get 2048. So basing on the requirement, actually you always better you give some extra IP address, space for extra IP address. So better you go with 20 and you calculate. Now these many I want. The same number I will give now while creating the instance. Now what I will do? 10 dot o dot o slash 24. This is the header value I want. And please give a look here. The cider block size must be between 16 and 28. You should not use 15 less than 16. You should not use more than 28. Remember that. What does it mean? That means a VPC can contain up to 65,000 instances. That means if you give here the range as 16, the maximum range as 16, that means in a VPC you can have maximum of 65,531 minus 5, right? 531 you can have. And minimum how many you can have? The range is 28, right? It is 16. So it is 16. Out of this 5 are reserved, so only 11 IPs. So minimum 11 and maximum 65,531 is a range you have to use. So that is the reason I am in this between this range, so no problem. Then just scroll down tenancy. So it's taken default. It will create you for create all the private virtual private instances. It will create, but if you want to dedicate it, then it's expensive. So all this you can use for, you can normally we use for default only. So virtual service instances only we use most of the time. Default dedicated we use very rarely, so it's very expensive. Okay, so whatever instance, whatever IP address you are creating, you are going to create here 4091, those IP address you can assign to 4091 virtual instances or virtual or EC2 instances. Now come down, tag is not mandatory, but it's already taken name and a value as project one, and create VPC. So what we did here, just selected VPC and give some name and then a range. That's all, nothing more than that. Create VPC. Now you see we have a VPC now. So VPC details are like this, that cider value. So here we can filter out. We have two VPCs now. Previously we have only default. This is a default one, and this is a private our own VPC. If you select it again, or click on your VPCs. Click on your VPCs. So you close this cross button. Now we have two VPCs. First one is the default one, which doesn't have any name, and this is our own VPC. You scroll down, the IP cider looks like this, right? Right. Next, when you create a default one, I told you that you will get a default route table, NACL, etc. So let's click on VPC dashboard. See, one route table has been increased. It's 2 now. Previously it was 1. One NACL also increased. These two will get freely. Now, what we have to do as per this diagram? As per this diagram, VPC is ready now. VPC is ready now. Now, next what I will do? Already a route table is ready now. One route table is ready. You can use it for main as a main route table, or you can use it as a custom route table. But the default one which is created is a main route table. If you go here, go and see, check that. Click on route tables. Close this cross button. You have two route tables here, and you just scroll to the right side. You'll see this route table belongs to our Infosys project, our VPC. And here on the top it is saying main. Yes, this is a main route table. If it's not a main route table, if you create a new route table, then here it will be no. And remember please, whenever you're practicing, while suppose you got you thought to delete this route table, for example, you want to delete this for example, some purpose. Okay, you did some mistake and you want to delete it. While deleting it, you should be very careful. You have to see which VPC, which route table you are deleting, if it belongs to the private VPC or it's a default VPC. If you delete the default VPC, then you have a lot of issues. Do not delete them. Do not delete the default VPC. Any default thing, even default security group also, you should not delete. Anyway, that is done now. This is ready now. So since it is ready, as per this diagram, let's make it as a, because it's a main route table. Okay, I will give some name to this route table. Okay, because we are going to associate this private route subnet to this route table, right? I will give some name like a private route table, so that after that I will create two subnets, and then I will associate this private subnet to this private route table. Okay, so what I will do, I will rename it. I will name it, give some, I will give it some name, private route table, something like that. Save. Okay, I will. Okay, next thing is what? I want two subnets. Click on subnets. On the left side, click on subnets. Click on create subnet. So the subnet where you want to create. We have two. One is default and is our custom VPC. Select our custom VPC. And then what is subnet name you want? I will say this as public subnet. And which zone you want, you can select any zone, but it's not mandatory. Okay, I will take 1A, no problem. I'll take 1A, and this is a slash 24. It's showing for the it's a VPC cider value. So VPC can contain 4091 IP addresses, means you should contain less than that, right? So less than that you should contain. So what I should say, in each subnet I want only 256 servers IP address I want. So then what I have to do, dot o slash, I will say something like 256 means how many I should get? 24. If I say 20, already 24 we have given. Okay, this uh, one moment please. Okay, I have given 24 for that. Okay, see, one mistake I did. Seems I have given only 24. For 24 means only 256 IPs are allowed. 256 only allowed. So I thought of giving 20. I thought of giving 20, but I forgot and I taken 24. No problem. You can your wish. How many you want? Your wish. But always remember, each subnet should all of you after you combine all the subnets, it should all contain maximum 251 only. 251 servers only you can create. For time being, assume in this subnet I want 50, in this I want 50. Only 50 I want. That is a requirement. That is the reason assume VPC taken only 256. But when you practice, you give the cider as 20, 20, and for public subnet you can give 24. No problem. That way also fine. Now, if I get 24 here for the subnet, public subnet, already VPC having 20 to 24. If the subnet uses all the IP addresses, then I cannot create another subnet, because another subnet cannot do not have any space, right? All IP addresses are used by this subnet one. That is the reason what I will do. I will increase it to, I will decrease it to 20, from 24 to, I will make it as 26. On the right side, you see, we can create 64 IP addresses. You can have 64 IP addresses in this public subnet. You can increase if you want. I will make it 20, decrease if you want. Now I have only 32. Okay. Now I will take 25. Then it is showing as 20. It's not 25. 25. Showing 120 IP addresses. That means sometimes you'll get a requirement. This should contain 40 IP addresses and this should contain 100 IP addresses. That also you will get a requirement. But as of now, what I will do, I will take some here 26, then 64 IP addresses, and then come down. See the range 10.0.0.0 okay, and then create a subnet, and then I will create one, and it is public subnet. Let me create one more private subnet. It is again into the same custom VPC, and this time it is a private subnet. And preference, the previous one I selected 1A, I will set this as 1B, but it's not required. You can give any you can give no preference also, no problem. And this time I will say 10 dot. If you say same o dot, if you say, you will get a overlap issue. That means already subnet 1 using 10.o.o, so you should give it as 10.1.o. Okay, but let's try. We'll give the same range and let's see what will happen. Now here in this I want 26, and this also I want 64 IPs. Now if you try to create subnet, it's saying cider address overlaps with existing subnet cider. So existing subnet already using this range, you have to change it. So what you have to do, I told you in the previous session, you make it as 1. Now it will be created. Create a subnet. What it's saying? Okay, now create subnet. What still it's saying? Is not within cider address within. What is that? Okay, okay. 26 and cider range is not within the cider address VPC. Okay. So why? Because you see, remember, got the issue. Issue is that the VPC, but I unknowingly accidentally I've selected 24. What happens? 24 means how many you can create? Only 256, right? Only 256 I can create, right? See, slash 24 means 250. That means the range will be starting from in the VPC 10 dot o dot o dot, like that. It will repeat up. It IPs will be created up to 251. So out of this range, one subnet I already created. That is for first subnet I have taken as 20. Sorry, 26 I have taken. That means In this range only the subnet 1 will fall. Subnet range will fall in this range only. That is public subnet. But what I am trying to do the first subnet 2, that is private subnet, what I am trying to do, I am trying to give another range, that is 10.0.1.0. So by doing this, what happens? Actually, the total VPC, the range itself ending with here. The VPC itself does not have this range. So the VPC does not have this range. Then how can I create a private VPC with this new range? If the VPC have the range above this one, that is, if the VPC contains a range something like 10.0.0.1.0, like that, if the VPC having that range, and again up to here 255 or 251, then I can use a private subnet with this new range. But accidentally, I've created a VPC with slash 24. The slash 24 means only this much IP address I can create, and the next third octet will not be come into picture. Third octet will never come into picture with value 1. So private subnet I cannot create. So what I have to do? Very simple. You delete it. You delete the VPC. Okay. So range we cannot modify. You cannot modify the range. So go to the VPCs. Okay. Simply what you do, you see here what I am doing. When you practicing, this will happen. Go to your VPC and select your VPC or invoice VPC, and you click on actions and you delete VPC. When you delete VPC, all the associated tables, subnets, route table, subnet, everything will be deleted. Okay. We don't need to do it manually. Delete. Now only your default VPC is available. Your route table, this also should go. Yeah, it also gone. It also gone. Your subnet, public subnet also should go. If you try to delete it, you will get error. You see, fail to perform operations. Okay, because it is gone, but still it is showing here. Okay, no problem. It is gone now. Okay, your and moreover, if you see the dashboard, VPC dashboard, your NACL see it became 1 automatically. Then I will become now 1 now. Okay, no problem. Go to create VPC now, VPC, and here Infosys, okay, project 11, and you'll say VPC, and then this time let's take carefully create more number of IP addresses slash 20. So slash 20. Okay, last time I taken 24. That is a problem, and that's all. Create VPC. Okay, now let's go to the route table, and route table should have another route table that belongs to our VPC 11. Okay, project 11. So that's the top one. So edit it. Say private route table. Okay, it's a private route table. Then next, what I have to do? I have to create subnets, right? Create subnet. I'll say project 11 and subnet public subnet. Will say one A, and then setter value as 10.0.0. Hash 24. How many IP address create? 256. Okay, that is for one create public IP. And one more I am going to create now. Again, this time in for the same VPC, and this time private subnet. Okay, this time I select the Mumbai region, the B region, and this time again the range should be different. 1.0. Okay, slash 24. So how many IPs here? 256 IPs you can create. Okay, this new range. Now this we have to create. Now two subnets are being created. Refresh them and scroll down. We have two public IPs. One you can ignore it, so it is not available. See, no value is associated here. Fine. Next thing is, as this picture, from this picture we have two subnets now. Next thing is what? We have to create one more route table. In that we have to add internet gateway, and NAT gateway I will not add now. I will not add now. So first of all, I will create one more route table, and to this route table, I will associate this public subnet to this route table, and I will also associate our private subnet to our main route table. Okay, let's do it. Let's first of all we want a public subnet. Sorry, public route table. No, not public route table. We want one route table. Let's go and create one route table. Create route table. Okay, and give name, some name I will say public route table. And VPC, where you want this route table to be? In our Infosys project 11 VPC, and come down, just create the route table. Now route tables are ready. Go to route tables and close this. You see, we have private and public route table. Next thing is that what I have to do? Set the public route table and just go down. Yeah, it is okay, right. Now next thing is what? You check the routes. You click on the routes here. You see 10.20 is our VPC. Our VPC, the entry is already there. So as per this diagram, this the entry is already there. It's a local. Local means all the IP address, all 4091 IP servers, if you create, they can communicate. So that's the reason they are local. Okay, now I want to associate the public subnet to this route table. For that, you have to click on subnet associations. Okay, click on subnet associations. Okay, nothing is associated now. Click on edit subnet. When you click on edit subnet association, now which route table you want to associate? I want to associate our public subnet to this route table, right? So this association I want to do now. I am doing it now. How? Simply select your public subnet. That's it, and saves association. Okay, now you select the public route table again and click on subnet association. You will see the name. You will see our public subnet here. The same way, I want to associate the other subnet with a private route table. Okay, what is private? This route table already having routes, same route, and here subnet association. Here nothing is there. Edit subnet and click on private subnet. This will be associated now. So now if you select again private route table, if you see the subnet association, you will see our private subnet. Now what we did till now, we have associated. Association has been done now. Next thing is what? I have to create an internet gateway. Internet gateway is not yet created. If I create it, I can add it to the route table of the of this public subnet route table. Okay, what I will do? I will create a internet gateway. Go to internet gateway on the left side. Click on the internet gateway. Here, one internet gateway is already there, but this belongs to our our default VPC. Now I want to create one more. Create internet gateway, and here I will say Infosys. Okay, IGW, Infosys IGW, something like that. Internet gateway. Okay. Now create internet gateway. Click on your internet gateways here top. Close this cross button. So internet gateway is there. It is created, but it is detached. It is detached. So we have to attach it. Attach to whom? To the VPC. Okay. What for that? Select this internet gateway. Go to actions and attach to VPC. Which VPC? Select here. We have the Infosys Product 11 VPC. Select to that and attach internet gateway. Now go to again internet gateways. Again you click on this. Just close this cross button. Now you see this gateway has been attached now. Next thing is what we have to do. Since internet gateway is attached now, now this public subnet is associated with the route table, public route table. In this route table, the ID of this internet gateway is to be added. Okay, only then the instances inside this public subnet can be connected to the internet. Okay, let's do that. What I will do, I will go to the route table. In this route table, we have to select the public route table. In this, we have routes, right? Click on the routes. As of now, the route entry having only one. I want to add internet ID also here. So for that, click on edit routes. In this, you have to click add route. Here, you have to select internet gateway. See, internet gateway. You select it. Okay. So here we is this ID. Infosys internet gateway ID. Okay, you have to select that one. Okay, here destination is internet, right? So select o.o.o/0 and you select our internet gateway ID. Okay, then save changes. Once you did that, again see the route. Now our internet gateway is added. That means what? Now onwards, what happens is whatever instance you create inside the subnet will have connection to the internet. But whatever you connected to the created inside this data subnet will it cannot connect to the internet. But only if you install NAT gateway, then only it can connect to the internet. First, what I will do, I will create one instance here and in this subnet, another instance I will create in this subnet, and I will check whether this can access to the internet or not. If it is accessible, then I will try to connect to this one. It does not have internet gateway. We cannot connect to this instance itself. We can connect to this instance using we can create get password, right? Suppose I am creating a Windows instance. In the Windows instance, I will create a Windows instance the same way. How you create a Windows instance previously, the same way we will create. After that, what you do, you will upload the key, private key, and then you will get the password. And using the password, you log in, connect to the web server. This is possible only if that web subnet having internet gateway associated in this table. But if you take this one, this also I want to create one more instance in this, one instance in this as well, Windows instance itself. But even though you have key and password, you cannot connect to this. Why? Because this subnet does not have internet gateway. But this you can connect to it because this route table having internet gateway. But this instance cannot be connected. We cannot connect to this because it does not have internet gateway. Then how can we connect to it? We'll see step by step. Okay, let's first create an instance in this two subnets. Any questions till now? Let me know first. Then I will continue creating the instances. Let's create instances now. Go to our VP. Now let me duplicate this window, and here I will type EC2. Here you see is click on EC2. Right now, instance is running. Click on the instance running. Nothing is running. Click on launch instance. Here I want to create. I will say something public server. Okay, just to understand public, or I can say app server. When you say app server, you should know app servers are run in public subnet only. App server. Okay. Then I want to install Windows. Now Windows, everything is fine. Then come to key pair. I will set key pair 3 and network settings. Here you have to do the main changes. Edit now. When you edit here, you will see default VPC. Now our VPC also should say shown here. See, Infosys Project 11 VPC is shown here. Now you select that one. You select that one, then our private subnets will be shown here. You see private and public subnet. And what is the range? You see 251 is a range. Maximum you can create up to 251 only. IP address you can get 251 IP addresses. Because you can create 251 IP addresses, that means you can create 251 virtual machines and you can assign to each one IP address. And the VPC, how many you can create? /20. That means 4091 you can create maximum. So we have private subnet and public subnet. And one thing you should observe, when I select public subnet or private subnet, here auto assign public IP is disabled. You can select enable. When you get enable, then what happens? Whatever instance you create in the subnet, to the subnet you will get a public IP. But it is by default it's come disable, but you can say enable it. You can select this one. But think in real time, if you are creating some 200 servers, 200 times you cannot do it again, always again and again select enable, you cannot do it, right? So for that reason, it will be an interview question. They may ask you, when you create a VPC, is the auto send public IP will automatically disabled or enabled? They will ask you. You will obviously will say disabled. Then you will ask you, do you multiple times you enable it, or what do you do? So actually multiple times you won't do it. So by default it should show as enable only, right? So for that, what I can do it, I can do a small change for some setting I have to change. So what setting I have to change? See, go to our route table, go to our subnets. The subnets we have public subnet and private subnet, right? Just come down. The one, this is a public subnet, select this one and go to actions, and here edit subnet settings. If you observe carefully, we have auto assign IP settings. Enable AWS to automatically assign a public IPv4 IPv6 address to a new primary network interface for instance in this subnet. So you have to select this one, enable auto assign IP address. When you do this, the next time onwards, for this public subnet, only for this public subnet, not for the private subnet. If you have multiple subnets, for every subnet you have to do this. I'm doing it only for the public subnet. Why I'm not doing for the private subnet? I won't do it because in the private subnet I don't want IP address, because it's a private subnet, right? My server doesn't require any public IP. So for a public subnet I want to enable this option. Okay, then come down and click on save option. When you saved it, remember, do not do it for private subnet. Private subnet we should not have public IPs enabled. Okay, now go to a launch instance. Again this time refresh this, again. Let's try what will happen. I am selecting default one. For default one it always enables. Default one is always enables, but private also it should enable. Now for private subnet it is disabled. Of course I am expecting it because we have not modified anything for the private subnet. Let me select for the public subnet. You see, this time enable is automatically came. That means in future if you create multiple instances, for every time no need to do anything, automatically enable will come here for the public subnet only. And then launch is wizard 2. That okay, name is not a problem. I don't want to change anything. That's all for now. So I'm going to create one instance here, launch instance. Now where this instance is created? In the custom VPC. It is created inside the custom VPC. You scroll down. So one is terminated. It's created on the 1A zone, right? Because we created subnet in 1A, that is the reason all the instances will be created on 1A only most of the time, because we have selected it already. Next, I want to create one more instance for the private subnet this time. Okay, this time it's a database. It's a database. Then what I will do, I'll set Windows here again. Since it's a Windows, what I will do, I'll select our key pair 3 and edit the network settings. This time I'll select our Infosys VPC and go to private VPC. Private VPC, insert private VPC I'm creating. Okay, IP address will be disabled. Okay, and launch instance. Now we have two instances running in different VPCs. One is app server, one is database. This is running in private subnet. This is running in the public subnet. Okay, that is fine. And the database is running in 1B and is running in 1A. Okay, and you see carefully for the private app server you will have public IP and private IP, and if you select a database it will does not have public IP. You see, does not have public IP, only it will have private IP. Hope you understood the difference. So our private subnet will not have public IPs, only our subnet will have public IPs. Next, what I will do, let me connect to this instance and try to connect to the internet, so that it should be able to connect to the internet. Why? Because internet gateway is attached in the route table, right? Let me try that. So I'm going little fast because the theory has been covered for you. So hopefully you should understand. If any doubt, please stop me. Now select this public IP, the app server, click on connect button, go to RTP, download this remote one, and now get password. It is decrypted, copy it. You see, we are connecting to our custom VPC. In the custom VPC, we have a public subnet. In that subnet, we have instance running. To that instance, we are connecting. So meanwhile it is ready. Meanwhile it is ready. What I will do? Let's me go to connect our private instance. Instances. Select our database and here connect. Go to RDP. Download RDP desktop. Database save. Get password. See, even though we have password and everything, but still we cannot connect to the to that instance. Password. Copy it and go to our app database. You try to connect. See what it getting, remote computer 10.0.1.196. So different range, but it's a private IP. You can never connect to a instance using private IP. Private IP is mostly, not mostly, mandatorily used by the instances internally. Now you try to connect, you cannot connect to it. See, it's saying connecting to, but you can never connect. Because I am connecting, trying to connect from the outside, from the internet. I am trying to connect. You cannot, you can connect to outside from the internet. So you got an error. Okay, okay, you cannot connect to it. But as I told you, now this is our public subnet instance, which is in the public subnet. See the IP address. The range you see 10.0.0. Okay. Now let's try whether it can access to internet or not. You see the internet connection is there. See the icon here. We have the internet connection access. Now here you type. One moment. It's not responding. Yeah. Here you type CMD computer prompt. Here if you ping to gmail.com, you see a response is coming. That means we are able to connect to internet. Ping amazon.com .com. See, Amazon.com also responding, but we could not connect to our database because the database is in private subnet. We are able to connect to this internet, that is proved, and this is not able to connect to the internet. We cannot connect from the internet. Through internet we cannot connect, but this can connect to internet. it this can connect to internet, but we cannot connect to it directly. Okay, to it can connect to internet, but you have to install NAT gateway. But before you doing NAT gateway installation, what we have to test is, we have to test one more thing. What is that? Because these all comes under same VPC. I told you that this VPC, this instance can communicate with this VPC, right? This can communicate to this one, right? So let me check how I can communicate with this instance using the instance which is running in the public subnet. How to connect? Just go to the public sub instance here. So here you can use remote. You can use remote desktop application. Where it is? It is the instance running in the public subnet. Here the IP address of the private IP address of the instance. What is the private IP address of the instance? You go here, and first of all let me copy this password. Okay, copy this password. Whose password it is? The database password, the database instance password. Okay, I will see the range here, 10.0.1. So go here and save here the password. Why I want this, I will tell you. Now what I will do, click on instances, save the database. This database running in the private instance. Okay, private subnet. Okay, and copy the private IP, and then go to our public instance. In the instance which is running the public subnet, here you copy it. This is a private IP. So our instance, the instance can communicate, the instance which is running in the public subnet, it can communicate with the other instance using its private IP. It can do it, but we cannot do it outside. Outside we cannot do it. We are doing inside this instance, public instance. So click on connect now. See, without an issue, it asking for credentials. Now, by default, username is administrator, password I copied. Okay, it will work. It will not work, right? Because it have the public IP pasted over there. Okay, click on it. Just minimize. Go to here and paste the password here. Okay. Yes. Now you see carefully. We are connected to our another instance, which is running in the same VPC, but this is running. This instance is running in the another private subnet. This instance running in the public subnet. This instance running in the private subnet. So this public instance can communicate with this private instance. Now you can minimize it if you want. I just scroll. I'm minimizing this. So this is a private instance. This is a public instance. Don't confuse. It's preparing. Its setup is still going on. Give it some time. Till now, if you have any questions, please ask me. So if you observe carefully, this is a private subnet, sorry, private instance. You see the private instance. Click on yes here. You see this private instance does not have public IP. It's having only private IP. Does not have public IP. You know that. And scroll down and see the internet. No internet here. And see our public subnet. This instance which is in the public subnet having internet. This does not have internet. Okay. And if you try to run the command here, command prompt to run, to try to whether connect. Now you select your otherwise the one moment please. Command prompt is getting right. Command prompt, click on command prompt. We are trying running this in the private instance. Okay, here the private instance, if you see, if you type now ping gmail.com, see you won't get any reply. You won't get any reply. Request timed out. Okay, request has been timed out because no internet connection. So till now what we understood till now we created VPC, we created subnets, we created instances, we created route tables, everything is fine. So the last thing what we need to prove is that this private subnet instance can be connected to internet, but for that we have to we have to create a resource service called NAT gateway. When you create NAT gateway, you have to create in the public subnet, and then the entry of this NAT gateway should be added in the main route table of the private subnet. These two things if you do, then automatically what happens? Then automatically the ping whatever you're doing right now will work. The ping request will work, and then the here internet is showing no internet, that also will come. This will be enabled. Internet will be enabled here. Two things will happen. Let's try to understand how to do that. Okay, for that you just give me 5 minutes time. We'll complete that as well. One moment. Where is this? Okay, now minimize this. Let's go to our VPC again. To go to our VPC, and what I have to do? I have to create internet gateway, right? For that, what I have to do? On the left side, if you observe carefully, we have NAT gateways. Click on NAT gateway, and here we have one no NAT gateways, right? Click on create NAT gateway. Click on create NAT gateway, and then after that, optional, right? It's optional, so you can give some name, no problem. So I will say NAT way. Okay, here I will say proj 11 NAT gateway, something I will give. And subnet, where you want to create in the public subnet, right? That you should be careful. Public subnet, always create in the public subnet. And then what else? Elastic IP is required, right? So simply, if you already have, you can select it. If you don't have, click on allocate elastic IP. Elastic IP will automatically allocate it, and then come down. Create NAT gateway. Now a NAT gateway will be prepared. Click on NAT gateways here. So its state is pending. Its state is pending. Once it is ready, what we have to do? That NAT gateway entry we should be added to the route table, so that this route table is connected to this subnet. Then the subnet will automatically get a internet connection. Let's see that. We have to wait till this is ready, state is active. So meanwhile, you can go here and you can see here on the left side. If you go to elastic IPs under networks and security, if you click on elastic IPs, you'll see elastic IPs created here. It's just now created. Okay, it's just now created. It will take some time. The association instance ID also not ready, so it will take some time. Let's give some time.
Hi, Madan.
Hi Sima, good morning. Yeah.
Yesterday I missed the class, but I could not find any recording in the drive.
Yes, you are right. You are right. Actually, yesterday I could not upload it. Today I will upload that
Yeah,
as well, and today's session also I will upload. No problem.
yeah,
I
okay,
will do it
Madan.
today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, okay, Madan.
Yeah. You please practice this session today, and if you have any questions tomorrow, I will help you out. You can share your screen, and if you're stuck anywhere, you can share in the class. No problem. Online, I will fix the issues. But before that, hope you understood carefully all the things. Then practice well. Still, you not able to do it. Let me know. I'll help you out. Now it is available. You see, it is available now. Okay. Next thing is what? Go to route tables. Select our private route table. Okay, in the routes, we have only one route now. I want to add NAT gateway entry here. Click on edit routes, and here just say not that one. Just type NAT. When you type NAT, 1 minute please. Sorry, I'm very sorry. I'm somewhere. Mind is somewhere. Don't disturb this. Cancel it. Private route table. Click on routes. Okay, and now add edit routes, and then click on add route. Here you select NAT gateway. Just come here, NAT gateway. Okay, select it and just again click here. You will see our proj level NAT gateway. Select it. Okay, and here you select o.o.o and then save changes. Okay, now if you see route, now the route has been added with the NAT gateway. That means what? This route already associated with our private subnet, right? Already associated with the private subnet. Now our private subnet should get internet connection. Let's try that. Just scroll it down. You see it's still showing no internet connection. Okay, give it some time. Give it some time, 1 minute or 2 minutes. Automatically this will disappear. In place of it, you will get this icon, internet connection icon. You should get. And meanwhile, what I will do, I will launch command prompt as well. So let me see the internet connection. You see now the icon has been changed. Now internet connectivity has been established with our private instance as well. Okay, using the NAT gateway. Okay, now go here and let us try ping Gmail this time again. You see a reply is coming. Okay, a reply is coming. That means NAT gateway provided that connection. If you edit this route table and if you remove this NAT gateway, for example, okay, and save this, now if you try again, it won't work. See, it's pinging, but it's not able to respond. Timed out. Okay, hope you understood the whole activity. Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this different resources, connecting these different resources? You have any doubt? If you have any, let me know. Tomorrow you go through this session one more time. I will upload this session today. You go through this and practice well. Okay, but before we ending the session, what we have to do, we have to carefully remove all the resources whatever we have created. Okay, now what I will do, first of all, the NAT gateway I have removed. Okay, come down, NAT gateway I have removed it. Okay, no problem. And when NAT gateway is removed, also what you have to do, go to your elastic IP. Go to your elastic IP and refresh it. Your elastic IP should be there, still it should be there. Select it and click on actions and click on release elastic IP. Okay, what is saying cannot be released associated ID? No problem, you will do it later. After some time you do it. Okay, next what we have to do, go to our VPC, click on uh, click on your VPCs. Okay, so VPCs you cannot delete as of now. Immediately you cannot delete because this in VPC some instances are running, right? So for that what we have to do, first of all you have to delete the instances. Select these two instances and go to instances and terminate them. Once they are terminated properly, only then you can create your VPC. And do not delete individually the route tables. Do not delete the route tables individually. Why? Why? Because if you delete the VPC, automatically the subnets and route tables will be deleted. One custom route table you have to delete it manually. Okay, one you have to delete manually. That is one thing you should get. While deleting, very careful. Don't delete the default VPC. Don't delete the default VPC. If you delete the default VPC, then you will face a lot of issues. Well, whenever you want to create any resource on the cloud. So one is terminated, one more to be terminated. Yeah, both are done. Now what you have to do? Now VPC you can delete it. Select this VPC, go to actions. Now here delete VPC. What is saying? VPC cannot delete until you complete the following. What I have to complete? Network interface. What NAT gateway I deleted. Okay, go to internet gateway. Select this internet gateway. Okay, select this internet gateway actions and detach from VPC. Okay, please detach it. Once you detach it. Okay, unsuccessful. Why so? Mhm. One moment, please. Uh, go to your public route table. Go to routes. Select. Click on the edit routes. Remove this internet gateway. Save changes. Now go to internet gateway. Select Infosys gateway. Now detach from VPC. Detach internet gateway. Just refresh it. What is saying? Mhm. It will say it is not taking effect actually. It will work, but you have to give some time. Don't do it immediately. What do you do after practicing it? Don't do it immediately. Step by step, give some time, and once you terminated the instances, after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you try to delete the VPC. Not immediately. If like me, you don't do. But because I want to show you, that's the reason I'm trying to do it immediately. Okay, anyway, no problem. Don't delete subnets individually. You'd wait for some time and delete it manually. One by one, you do it. Elastic API, let me try it again. Release this one. From tomorrow, our sessions will be from 9 to 10:30. Please remember. What is this? I have removed it now. Not go to actions. I forgot this. That's the reason it's giving problem. Delete it. Delete it. Yeah, it's successfully deleted. No problem. Go to VPC again. This time. Always careful. Okay. Always careful while deleting. Okay. Delete VPC again. Okay, no problem. I will delete it later, but you give some time to delete. Otherwise, you will get charges will be applied. Okay, see, it's already deleted. That's the reason. Enter. Okay, detach from VPC. Detach from VPC. So it's not happening, right? Give some time. It is not taking effect. Give some time and try later. Okay. If you facing any issues while doing practice and not able to delete, let me know. Okay, but it will delete it. You have to give some time. Map public address, please, and map. Let me try it again. And now we should delete. What is this? Which tools? Which interest ID? Click on it. What is this VPC ID now? Network interface. They should delete automatically. These things you don't delete manually. This all should go on. Should go automatically. You don't do it manually. This will go. Give some time. You see, some resources has decreased here. Previously, we have multiple resources, but one is left. It will be deleted in a moment. Don't do it. Don't delete it manually. Okay, you please try this. If you have faced any issues, we will see this tomorrow. Okay, as of now, I'm ending the session, and I will upload the status and today's session. I will upload. Okay, go through it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Take care.